cover sky high. Broken wood wheel when the sun outside. I'm just rotating my tires, rotating my tires, rotating my tires, rotating my tires. Not a care in the world, me and my girl. Candy coated pearl with the bowling ball swirls. I'm just rotating my tires, rotating my tires, rotating my tires, rotating my tires. This could be one of those days.
What's going on, peeps? Julian Williams here at The Distance. Got a video for you guys. This is a prediction for the upcoming bout between Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Marco Antonio Rubio. Bout takes place this Saturday on HBO Boxing After Dark. Puts together the challenge of Marco Antonio Rubio against the champion Julio Cesar Chavez. Pretty much I wanted to upload this video last week, but pretty much the first two videos I did, I continued to go over, 10 minutes, and I cannot upload video over 10 minutes on the iPhone, unfortunately, because of, all these, little time constraints on the damn phone. So pretty much I had to give you a dumbed down, condensed version of something that, and then like the first time I did record this video, it ended up being like 45 minutes. I'm talking about this fight for like 45 minutes, just on and off and having little different thoughts in my head. And then the second time I talked, it was about 17 minutes. So anyway, this will be less than 10 minutes. And pretty much a lot of the points that I was bringing up, were irrelevant. So anyway, let's get into the fight. Marco Antonio Rubio versus Julio Cesar Chavez. Pretty much this fight, we all know, of course, and we've been saying this for the last couple fights for Chavez, this is another step up in competition. Marco Antonio Rubio is a very intelligent fighter. Something that he did say in an interview was he was going to fight this fight the same way he fought David Lemieux. And that's a huge mistake. Due to the fact that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is going to be, and I'm going to stop saying Chavez Jr., due to the fact that Chavez is going to be in between 180 and 185 pounds after the weigh-in. So that would be a huge mistake to stand there and take punches from a man that's probably going to be about 15 pounds heavier than him and be, and a much bigger fighter. So, but pretty much explain Rubio's style. Rubio is has a little bit of versatility behind what he does. He can control the fight using the jab. He can play the counter puncher. He throws a very good left hand. Very good left hook counter off the right hand, and a very good pull counter right. And he does that, off the, based off of his opponent's jab. He does very good pull counter right, but usually, he turns his body specific way, and he'll shoot that right hand. So most of the time off the ropes. So in this particular fight, I think the smart thing to do in this fight is not to let Chavez hit him early. If he lets Chavez hit him early, then that could be a mistake, because Chavez does hit hard. He does have power, and of course David Lemieux had power, but David Lemieux is not as big as Chavez. But I think that Chavez punches would probably have more damage than David Lemieux's punches. So, but anyway, in this fight, neither fighters really think about defense all that much. Rubio's a little more defensive minded, being that he does look for the counter from time to time, and he does use his legs to get out of the way. But in this particular fight, he needs to pretty much fight behind the jab very early and take control of the fight very early. Pretty much try to take the fight to Chavez. Of course, with Chavez, his first tendency when he gets hit is to punch back. So Rubio, of course, is going to hit him. He's going to land on him. But after he lands, he's going to have to move. He doesn't want to pull straight back and get hit. He wants to move around the ring. He needs to move a lot to his right side, away from Chavez's jab that really doesn't set up anything. If he can continuously go to Chavez's left side and continues to land on Chavez's left side, looking for maybe the pull counter right, the overhand right, and left hook punches that are very open against Chavez. I think he can very well win the fight if he can stay out of the way, and not let Chavez hit him, but hit Chavez, and look for the overhand right. Chavez does like to stand in front of his opponents and square up with his opponent, and Rubio doesn't necessarily square up all that much. He'll use his legs, and he'll move around the ring and make his opponent miss so he can set up his punches. But I think that he has to be the ring general in this fight. He has to fight behind the jab. He's going to have to walk behind the jab and look to counter, and set up his punches, set up his offense against Chavez. And I think he can very well win the fight if he can control the fight, if he can control it behind his jab and not let Chavez, get off with any punches. So on the other side, you have Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr., of course, is going to be the bigger fighter. And I think in this fight, he's going to have to walk Rubio down. And that's going to be a little bit hard for Chavez due to the fact that he doesn't really use his jab to walk his opponent down. He'll throw his jab, but he'll throw his jab just to throw it. He won't throw it and do anything behind it. It's not setting up any punches. He'll throw his jab, but he'll just throw his jab, and then a couple seconds later he's throwing the right hand. Instead of setting something up off of it. In this particular fight, he needs to walk behind the jab or come forward behind the jab against Rubio, and look for his own openings. He has to kind of cut off the ring, and also Chavez is a good body puncher in close proximity. So in this particular fight, he does want to go to Rubio's body, and he wants to look for the left hook up top. And Chavez has a very good left hook, a very sharp left hook. But he does kind of wind up on that left hook. He does wind up on it. He does kind of turn his body and telegraphs it a little bit. But when it lands, it's very effective. So in this particular fight, he does want to continue to be in front of Rubio. But also he has to work behind the jab and continue to walk forward. He's going to have to try to look for his overhand right and left hand. And also he does have to follow up his left hook with maybe a right hand shot, overhand right. But pretty much in this fight, he has to come in and he has to outwork Rubio. He's going to have to cut off the ring against Rubio. Of course, he has to take the legs away. He's going to have to back him up using his punching power. He's going to have to back him up using the punching power. He's going to have to do a hell of a lot in this fight to keep Rubio off of him, because Rubio is tough. He has a good chin, and he can take a punch to give a few good punches back. The same as Chavez. Chavez can take a good punch and give a few good punches back as well. But the thing with Rubio is Rubio's first tendency when he gets hit is not to throw back, but to look for the counter shot, or look for a bit of an opening to set up his own power shots afterward. Looks to move to a different side, to where he's not going to be hit anymore. Chavez, his tendency is to punch back. And the thing with Rubio that's always going to be that's been a problem throughout his career is when he throws a punch, Rubio will pull straight back, and he'll be hit as well. He gets hit from time to time because he pulls straight back, and he kind of admires his work a little bit. But Rubio, we all know, has to come into this fight. He's going to have to come into this fight. He's going to have to control the pace from round to round and establish his offense very early. And he's going to have to confuse Chavez. And the question is, can Rubio take Chavez punches for 12 rounds? Is Chavez going to be able to back him up? Does he have the power to back him up? And as I mentioned in the interview, he said he's going to fight Chavez the same way that he fought Lemieux. Chavez is going to be bigger, and I'm sure when he lands his punches, he's going to be trying to walk him down. He's going to try to walk him down, but it's not going to be off the jab. It's going to be off of power lead shots. And of course, Rubio is a dangerous opponent for Chavez because Rubio could possibly knock him out. If Chavez gets cut, Rubio's going to go after that cut from round to round. He's going to go after that cut. When he smells blood, he's going to go for the kill. That's the kind of fight Rubio is. But I think Chavez is going to do enough work in this fight to win this one by a decision. So I'm going to go with Chavez Jr. By a decision in this fight. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. That was the distance.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you know